Hi everyone, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV on a mad day, I have to say. I'm joined by Sharky and Elisha, which we'll come to them in a moment. But obviously, as you all know, we have literally been shell-shocked, some people would say, with the news today that Newcastle have announced that they are up for sale with St James's Holdings Limited, announcing it on the, well, Newcastle put the statement out on the website today. What we're going to be talking about today is just what it means a little bit more in depth. And we'll be talking about what it means for Rafa in the future, and obviously us as fans. Can the club go forward as well? So what we'll begin with first is we'll pop over to Sharky. Sharky, where can people find you, first of all?
They can find me on 100% NUFC.
And you can find it in Star Trek too. Elisha, where can people find you? Obviously on here.
On here and my channel, Elisha FC, as well.
Brilliant. So do head over to those guys. There's a link in the description at the very top for the two of them. Right, so let's begin with like the statement that come. Well, no, let's talk about Mike Ashley's when he first arrived. So Sharky, when Mike Ashley come in, when was it? 2007, wasn't it? Off the top of your head?
Yeah.
What were your initial thoughts? And obviously, if we fast forward like 10 years, we're still really at the same position when he first come in, isn't it? I mean, what's your general thoughts on Ashley?
I don't think we've progressed as a club, really. I don't think we've done anything. When he bought the club back in 2007, there was a thing of, right, okay, we've got a really good owner here. We might be able to break our transfer record. We've spent 17.5 million on Mike Loan. Can we go and get the next big thing? You know, can we get the next big player for 25, 30 million? Can we push on and try and get, into that top four? Can we stabilise ourselves in that top seven? And I've seen nothing since Mike Ashley bought the club. If anything, we've gone down that way.
Well, he came in. Well, he came in, didn't he? Then he was obviously we've seen him with the fans and with his pints, and he was one of us, so to speak. And he went down well, didn't it? But obviously, I know you can't really say you can't really let your owners have drink with your fans. But I know, but he was trying to fit in, wasn't he? In the first year he was okay, and then you seen the carry on, didn't you, with the stadium name change? We've seen the Wonga, no one like that. You've seen the Joe Kinnear carry on twice over. You've seen Alan Shearer getting let go when we got relegated, and Shearer was never told. It was just a catalogue of errors, wasn't it?
Well, it's been like that since he's been here. I mean, you've only got to look at Kevin Keegan as well. The second coming of Kevin Keegan. Yeah. It didn't work out. You wanted some money to try and invest, try and help push the club on back into them European positions. He wasn't looking for the league like he did back in the day, but there was players that he was getting that were coming into the club that were kind of going behind his back a little bit, and he wasn't happy with that. And I think, yes, okay, he was mingling in with the fans and that, but the minute Kevin Keegan walked out, I think that was the final straw with the fans. That's when the fans started to want him out. I think he'd only been at the club for a year, and it hadn't been very long, and that's where the downward spiral happened. Obviously, got with relegation back in 2009. We had one of the best teams. We had Damien Duff, Obafemi Martins, Michael Owen. We had Shea Given up until he left for Man City back in January of 2009. We started to lose a lot of our players, and the managers like Alan Pardew came in, who we'd never really heard of. Truth be told, I never heard of him. When he got the job in that, and it's just been a downward spiral from there. When you look at the players that we've signed, yes, we've had brilliant players like Johan Gabai, Demba Cisse, all of that and whatever, but we haven't been able to build around that team. He's always a shrewd owner. He's an owner who is someone who he likes to think more about his business than the football club. If he can buy a player for say £8 million and sell it on for like 15 million and make a little bit of cheeky profit, then that's good for him. But he's not looking at the club, and I think it's the fans that are suffering at the end of the day. And we've had a few sorry moments really as a football club, and we've had one just recently.
Too many, isn't it? Do you feel that, obviously we know Ashley's not a football man, but do you feel like you give too much power to the boards? Because if you look at down the years, your Dennis Wises, your Lee Charneys, did he give them guys too much power? Lam Bias is another one.
Yes, I mean, you want people on the board that have a football brain. You want the guys who kind of know the background of the club. Know the supporters. It's important that you know the financial side of the club as well, and how much we've got to be able to spend. And you've got to be able to target players that are actually going to improve the club, not try and make the club worse than what it is. Because you've only got to look at some of the signings that we've made in the past as well. That just recently in the 2015-16 campaign when we bought the likes of Ronaldo and people like that who didn't really know the Premier League as well, but don't have that experience, and experience has cost big time. And yeah, I mean, you look at Joe Kinnear as well. I mean, he couldn't wait to jump out the closet, could he? When he was in the club and that, he's obviously been manager and stuff, but it's just been one problem after another, isn't it? And Mike Ashley, you know, again, he's not a football man, so the guys that he's had in power, he's put trust in them, and again, the trust hasn't been there, and that's what's bothered the fans, and that's obviously backfired onto the players, and it's just not great, is it? It's not being great at all. There's been no.
Yeah, you're right. So we'll fast forward now to today, and obviously we had that quite wordy statement from, it's obviously on the club's official website. There's a few things that obviously coming out there saying that the board have the best intentions of the club. Elisha, say hello.
Hello.
Hello. What was your general thoughts on that statement coming out? Because it was quite wordy. Normally Newcastle on the website, they're quite short, aren't they? And this is quite a detailed one about. Just explain to it what your general thoughts were.
Yeah, we used to having quite short statements, and you know the thing with HMRC that came out in the past, it was very short statements. There weren't a club to talk too much in detail about what's actually going on. But I think with something so big as this and all the speculation in the past few weeks, how it's progressed, I think they had to say something a lot more wordy and put out what the intentions were now and how they're going to go about doing this, because it's going to affect basically every aspect of the club. This.
So, you know, the statement come out today, and, you know, looking at just some of what, because I'm just reading it as you were speaking there, there's some rumours going around. Obviously, Sky have said, you know, that Ashley and his company would take partial payments.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a risk?
I would say it's a risk, because you've got to be committed to buying a club, and if you're not going to buy it outright, then how can we say that we're going to get that investment? But at the same time, if you're only paying partial payments, that's leaving some over for investment. So it's kind of like equal, really.
Do you know that the Chronicle and Sky were both saying that the deal could be done by Christmas? That's pretty quick, isn't it? In the course of what you're looking at now, it's mid-October. So you're looking at 2 months. Is there something that you would like to see done if it does happen before Christmas?
If it's done properly, then I wouldn't mind again done before Christmas, but it needs to be done properly, and it needs to go to the right new owner. Yeah.
Right. Well, obviously my thoughts, I'll give you my thoughts, because I know I've been asking you two guys. I thought the statement was very wordy. I thought Newcastle had to, because it's a big jump, you know, just selling this product to another person. I think the Premier League, obviously, it's a good thing that the Premier League have this, do you know, when they check your buyers? I'm trying to think, well, I'm trying to think of the word, someone will say in the comments, where the Premier League investigate the new owner. I think that's a good thing, because the last thing we want is someone coming in like another Mike Ashley, or we've got another Leighton Orient on our hands, or a Leeds United in the previous video that I did for Newcastle Fans TV. Do you know, just talking about ownerships and stuff, Sharky, who in your right mind has to come in? Do they need to be British? Do they need to be foreign? Does it matter?
I don't think it really matters, but I think they've got to have a footballing brain. They've got to be able to understand the football club, its history, its background. You've got to be able to understand the supporters. And first and foremost, you have to be able to have the money to be able to put into the football club, because, yes, Mike Ashley's looking for, what is it, £380 million? He did drop his value by 20 million. But then once you buy the football club for that amount of money, Newcastle then need another extra 100 to 200 million just to invest into the football club in terms of the playing side, to try and get quality into the team, to try and push one. And again, they have to have an understanding more than anything else, because, you know, with Mike Ashley at the moment, he doesn't have that footballing brain, and that's what frustration, because we really want to be successful, but we can't be, because Mike Ashley doesn't have that ambition. It's all about having ambition, and you've got to spend within your means. But again, you were talking about other football clubs, the likes of Portsmouth. You know, they've had owners in. You know, they had fresh investment, and look where they are. You know, they went to League Two, back to League One. Blackburn, you know, the Venkies, and they're now back in League One. And I don't think it really matters too much, but they've got to be able to have a footballing brain. That's the most important thing, and they've got to be able to spend within their means, and just make sure that you're spending the right money and not putting the club into a financial state. That's most important.
Right then, so Elisha, I'm just going to come to you about the two main parties that we've been rumoured with the last few months. We'll probably have some more in the next few weeks. But the Chinese, let's start there. There was rumours obviously going around with the Chinese that they're going to come in, and, you know, obviously with our new sponsors on top of that, following that on. If the Chinese were to come in, we sound like we're talking like the Triads, didn't we? So if the Chinese do come in and they take over, literally, what would you do about the existing board who are there? What happens there? What happens to Lee Charney? He's got to go, hasn't he? He's got to go.
You would expect a new owner to come in and to decide with the manager who's going to be there, because at the end of the day, Rafa deserves a lot more control than what he's been given lately, and I think it's fair enough that he should be part of that, because he's been part of the time when Mike Ashley was there, and he's seen it when Mike Ashley was there. And if you bring a new owner in, I think it would be fair to balance it out with having Rafa making that decision as well.
Yeah, you think Rafa will have that choice?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would give him that choice.
All right, okay, right, cool. Sharky, so let's just talk about Amanda Staveley. If she was to come in, we've seen her obviously pictured at the Newcastle game. Now, I do have to stress she did try and buy Liverpool twice, so she wasn't necessarily, she might not be there for Newcastle. She could be there looking at Liverpool again, because there is strong rumours looking around that she's ready to buy a Premier League club with all her fundings and her company behind her. Is this someone you'd rather see Amanda Staveley instead of the Chinese?
It's hard to say, really, because I don't know too much about her. I know that she's trying to help other clubs, you know, trying to get deals through with other owners. I know she was part of the deal of getting the Sheikhs to buy Man City, you know, to try and help them buy the football club and that. She seems like she has a good footballing brain. She has a good knowledge of like business and trying to push football clubs on. But it's a hard one to comment on at the moment, because again, you know, she was at the game against Newcastle, Liverpool versus Newcastle, because I think it might be more towards Liverpool than it was Newcastle. And if she does buy the club, that could be very, very dangerous, because she's not really interested in Newcastle. It might be more towards Liverpool. It might just be the next step for her. You know, if she can't buy Liverpool, let's buy Newcastle United. But I don't want it to be like another Mike Ashley situation where, you know, they're not really interested in the football and matters, all that kind of stuff. So it's hard to comment on that one, really. But I probably would take up.
I think whoever comes in, whether it's the Chinese, again, I'm talking like the mafia here, aren't I? Or whether it's Amanda Staveley on her company, I think from what you have to, I think you've just got to wipe the board completely. I think you've got to get rid of them all. If you're having a new ownership, there's no point having an existing board there as well. I think you've just got to literally sack the board, as the common phrase goes. I think you've got to get rid of them, bring in the own team, bring in the own MD, chief executive, whoever they want to bring in, and how the structure wants to work. Do you fear for Rafa's job, Elisha?
I don't want to. No, don't say that. No, I'm not fear for his job. If an owner came in and sacked Rafa Benitez, that would be the worst possible start. So I don't think any owner coming in would want to do that. If they look back of the history of just what we've gone through Mike Ashley, if they came in and did that, you know, everything would just go wrong straight away from that point.
Go tits up. I don't think it would happen, but you have seen it with new ownership coming in. Yeah. They want their own manager. Now, don't get me wrong, Benitez is absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. Now, Sharky, we're talking a little bit about Rafa and how it moves on. Rafa's obviously got this relationship with Lee Charney, where Lee Charney is basically like the mouse that runs and tells Mike Ashley this, that, and the other. The rat, that's the word I'm looking for. So, although he's got like he's got a strained relationship with the board, but he actually has a relationship with the board, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If this new board was to come in, does Rafa have a go-to man, or what happens? Tell me what happens with Rafa when this new board comes in.
Well,
what's his relationship?
I think it'll be positive one, because, you know, Rafa's a big name manager. You know, why would Rafa want to? Why would this new board want to sack Rafa when you've already got a world class coach there who's been there and done it with the clubs that he's been at? And I think it's only right that Rafa Benitez is given a massive transfer budget, because at the end of the day, Rafa Benitez can get you players that you've never heard of that can probably do you a job in the Premier League. And I think we need some significant investment. You've already got to look at some of the key areas like left back. The centre-back positions up front, we're both hostile for £5 million. We need to be buying players in the region of £20 to £30 million to try and take on to that next level. And I think if you look at Rafa Benitez, he is a top quality coach. He's probably one of the best coaches in the world, and we're very lucky to have him. And I think it would be very wrong of this new board to get rid of him. I think Rafa just wants that money, and I think the reason Mike Ashley wants to sell the club is because of if Mike Ashley not being able to give him the money that he wants. And we all know in January Rafa Benitez is going to want a big amount of money to take this club on to the next level, because he believes that he can win us a trophy. And we all know that under Rafa Benitez, he can deliver us a trophy. If and when, we don't know that. But I think it's very, very important that, again, even if he doesn't have any sort of control, that he has a yes man, that he can talk to somebody and say, right, I want this player, I want that player, or I want this player moved on. And I think it's important that they've both got a good communication, and that's vital. Because under Mike Ashley at the moment, and our current board, it's very strained. It's not the best.
Okay, so talking of obviously whether it happens or whether not, let's just talk about it doesn't happen, Elisha, as in not the actual board selling the club. I mean, let's talk about the money. So we're going to January. We know that this squad, well, I personally think this squad is a championship squad, and Rafa is working miracles with this squad. We're sitting 9th in mid-October. That's mint. That's absolutely mint, and that's the power of the man himself. So we're going to January. We've still got Mike Ashley and his crew on board. What happens?
Well, apparently he's still investing. As far as I've heard, he's apparently still going to invest in January to what Rafa Benitez wants.
Will that happen?
Probably not. Because if he has no intentions of staying on in the club, why would he give him more money?
Yeah, well, it's a good point. So what I'm trying to ask is then, so Ashley stays. Yeah. Mike Ashley needs money because this squad needs money. Well, he's been dicked about the last 2-3 windows. If Mike Ashley's still in charge, ownership, and it's gone past January, what does Rafa do? Does he hang on and wait for this deal to conclude, or does he walk?
I hope he stays. But no, it would be tough for him because he has been promised and promised and promised, and every time it's been broken. So, as I've said before, the transfer window that we did last time, I would be sick if I was him by now, because everything Mike actually said, he's basically lied about, and he hasn't lived up to what he said. Yeah.
Okay. Sharky, I'm going to talk about the two loans that Mike Ashley's put in at the club. Now, whoever comes in, now Newcastle don't have any debt, which is fantastic. However, no one's really picking this up, like the local press or the national press, that Newcastle have got 2 massive loans that have to be repaid back to Mike Ashley at some point if he goes. We effectively, I know it's interest free. There's 160 odd million. Whoever that new owners are, they're going to have to come in and clear that, aren't they?
Yeah, of course. Oh, sorry, yeah. So, I mean, they're going to have to come in. They're obviously going to have to buy the club, aren't they? But then they're going to have to inject more money, like I was saying before. They're going to have to put, a few hundred million in just to clear the debt, and let's say a debt, like loan back to Mike Ashley, because obviously he wants it. Whether that's going to be given back within a month, a year, that remains to be seen. And again, obviously the press aren't picking it up, but that is another stumbling block in terms of the deal, because obviously the interest-free loan. It's just whether or not these owners are going to be willing to pay Mike Ashley the loan that he wants back. Obviously the figures are all bloated out, this, that and the other, but it's a very interesting one. It's really, really interesting, and it's going to be interesting to know how that develops over the next couple of months. And obviously he's talking about Christmas, remains to be seen.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's loads of things that can happen, spin off on all of this. So we've had this before. Our Newcastle are up for sale, and twice it never happened. So, Elisha, is this a third time lucky? Do you think we can get him out the club? I'll rephrase that. Do you think there's more promise this time of selling the club?
If you're going to use the word promise of along with Mike Ashley, I have a feeling this time, because of the direction the club is going in, I think now he's realised if he's not going to put any money into it, that's as far as the club's going to go, and he's just going to get more backlash. So I think for his own good, he's kind of worked out that maybe it is the better time for him to back down and sell on. Yeah.
Sharky, how do you feel about that? The 2 previous sales that never went through. Is Mike Ashley asking too much money, what's alleged to be rumoured in the media?
Well, I believe so, because you've only got to look at some of the other previous times where he's tried to put the club for sale, and apparently at one moment, I think it was the first or second time round, we didn't have any buyers, no one was interested in the football club. So is it just another one of those where he's desperate because obviously of what's happened over the last couple of weeks with the with the HRMC, Batteries Revenue and Customs, and it's I don't know, it's a hard one, but it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough.
And it's funny because if we get found guilty of that, obviously HML, whatever it's called, customs.
I'll be trying to say myself.
Basically the tax fraud that going on. Can you imagine if they sell up and then we've got the tax fraud? Hey, what a mess that'll be in. So, you know, I just want to talk about the two sales. I think personally Mike Ashley was asking far too much money. Even now I still think that, because if you look at Newcastle's history, Newcastle have been relegated twice in the last, eight years? For a club this size, no wonder Everton fans hate us personally, because we are a threat. No, if you think about it, because if you look at the Premier League, you take your top 6 sides away, and then you're left with probably Everton, maybe then Newcastle, in terms of size and structure and fans and blah, 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 blah. No wonder Everton fans hate us, because we're a threat to them. We'll never really, capitalising on winning a trophy or getting regular European. I know we had that spell briefly in the noughties and so on, European football, but we should be amongst all of that every year. And I think Mike Ashley's asking far too much again this time around. I don't think... Go on then.
Could I just say something? Could they ask, going back to the loan that his company has put into Newcastle, couldn't you say that part of that money has something to do with that? Like, obviously we don't know the terms of it, but looking at how he's asking for the price, and now he's mentioned that, could it equal out as being some of that is the loan that's being repaid? Yeah,
good point. Well done. So it is a good point, but maybe it's not. Maybe just he is asking too much, right? So we'll have one more thing to talk about. We'll try and answer some of your questions in your live chat. I have been looking over. There's a big, massive argument going on in the live chat. It's friggin' ridiculous. Right. So, what does Rafa Benitez make of all of this, Elisha? So he'll be sitting at home over the Wirral, and what's running through his mind right now?
How much is he going to get? Is he going to have a job?
Well, he's got a job. He knows that.
Yeah, of course. I think they would be crazy if they sacked him to come in. But it's going to be a fact of what's going to happen in January. That's what I would be thinking. What's going to happen in January? How much am I going to have? Because he'll probably be starting to plan now what he's going to do. And obviously he needs kind of like a budget to work around and something to work towards.
Sharky, Rafa's press comments will be on Fridays per usual. He's going to be asked by Keith Downey and Lee Wright and the gang and so on. What's his answer going to be?
He's going to try and brush it under the carpet, isn't he? He's going to think it's business as usual. It's Crystal Palace on Saturday. You know, they've just got a good result against Chelsea, but we're at home and it's a game that we must win. Yes, he's going to try and avoid it. He would probably say a couple of things like, you know, we don't know too much until it happens, and we're just going to play it straight until something does happen, until something comes clear. Again, Rafa being the manager that he is, he doesn't like to give too much away. So I think Rafa will be very, very he'll be very aware of what he's saying to the media, because if you give something to the media, obviously they're going to pass it on to somebody else. And I think the club are going to make him aware that he's got to be careful what he says to the media in terms of what he says on Friday. But I think he's going to look more towards the game. Yes, he will get asked about it, but as a manager, I think he's just got to focus on each game that he said all season. Just focus on the games ahead. It's all about getting points. In terms of until something happens, he can't really say too much on it, because at the minute it's until it's concrete.
I think, go on, Shaggy.
How's it?
All right, okay. I think you're all right. I think when he has his press conference on Friday, which we'll cover, he'll brush it in the carpet. He'll just be like, yeah, it's happened. I'm still here. I'm doing my job. My job's look after the squad and all that kind of stuff. Just going to go to the comments and then we'll finish off some questions. Now, do you like a rumour? Right, this one from Cynthia Isa, I think I pronounced that right, Patel. The Chronicle are reporting that Sir Richard Branson still has contacts at Newcastle following Virgin's sponsorship in 2012-2014 and is preparing a bid. Elisha, I'll let you answer that.
Again, would he have interest in Newcastle United? Honestly. I don't know how much he knows about football as well.
I'm gonna be very careful. I'm not answering it because I work for the opposition, so I'm not answering that question. Sharky, what do you make of that rumour? Do you think that's just nah, it's not gonna happen?
You don't know really, because again, wasn't he pictures outside of town about 4 years ago with a Newcastle top on with the Virgin money on? So never say never, but it's looking more towards not. But yeah, you can't really comment. I mean, obviously now that we've been put for sale, everyone's going to be linked with Newcastle, aren't they? It's hard to say it, but you can only say what you've seen. Say what you see.
Yeah. All right. Cool. A lot of the questions that are coming through we've actually already covered. I'm just whizzing through these in case there's any others. No, I won't make that video. Jim, there's some guy who keeps asking me to make a gym video. It's weird. I actually think it's not a real person. It's a character, but I'm just going along with it. Okay, so I'm just checking all of that. What's this one? Someone, let's put it on the camera. Someone fancies you, Elisha. Give them a wave. Right, okay, whilst I keep looking for more questions and we'll finish off, Sharky, where can people find you? What do you do?
So I'm a YouTuber, 100% NUFC. I do match previews, match reviews. I also do match day experiences. So when I go to the games and stuff, I like to record along and bring the match to you guys. If you can't see the games and that, and it's always a good atmosphere. I'm not really a season ticket holder, but I'm always here, there, and everywhere in the ground. So yeah, and I also tend to go to the away games as well. So there's always something on the channel. If there's any breaking news, I'm on it, and I also do a lot with Elisha and Leon, Newcastle Fans TV. So. Yeah, I'm also on Twitter as well. You can also find me at 100% NUFC. Go along and give us a follow, and I'll also follow you back. And I'm very quick on messages and things like that. So yeah, again, just subscribe to 100% NUFC on YouTube.
Right, that's your PR done. Shut up. Right, okay. So, Elisha, do you think we'll do a Leyton Orient? Where basically Leyton Orient had investors and didn't actually put any money in, they went almost bust. Do you think that potentially could happen? Is that a risk? Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, it's a risk. Yeah, you're right. It's a risk you've got to take. It's either it's going to go really well or it's going to go horribly wrong. Hopefully, it's the first one and it goes really well. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Yeah,
I'll answer the next one, which is from YT Gang. Do you think the new owner? Do you think we'll get a new stadium? No, that's not going to happen because of planning permission behind us. Not behind us. I mean. What stand is it? The East Stand has listed buildings behind it. I'm trying to think. It is
Council.
Yeah. That's not going to happen. We can't we can't build on it. A new stadium? Nah. We've got 52,000. We could increase it if the good times come back. Sharky, where would you like to see Newcastle in 10 years' time?
Hopefully, try and get in. Looking towards the Europa League, can we get in that top 6? Can we stabilise us on that top 6? Can we stay in the top 10? That's more than anything else. Stay in that top 10. Try and get in the top 6 Europa League football, Champions League. You know what might get you just don't know, do you, with the investment? But can we get consistent European football? That's what we crave. Whether it's Wednesday night football, Champions League, Europa League, Thursday night, we'll take that. Newcastle are a well-known club, and I think that's what we want is consistent European football, and hopefully trying to get winning trophies. Hopefully,
yeah, I think put in the next 10 years, hopefully we've got a trophy by then. That's all I'm going to say. Just having a quick more. Elisha, you may as well promote yourself. Where can people find you? Else I'll look for more questions.
Obviously on here and on my channel, Elisha FC as well.
Okay, that was pretty brief. Yeah, so Elisha's part of. She'll be with us on Saturday doing the fan cams as well. Sharky will be lurking about as well as he does. He lurks around in the dark, as you can tell. So Sharky, say goodbye, everyone, because we're going to finish off now.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Elisha, say goodbye.
Bye.
All right, that was quite brief again. Right, yeah. So already on the channel, we've obviously got the Mike Ashley one, which I've done. This is the live stream. If you're watching the rerun of it, comment in your comments box down there below. Head over to the other two as well. I'm not pointing down there because on my screen they're down here. But if you can follow these two as well, which are on screen, as you can see, Sharky give a wave, and Elisha give a wave as well. You can subscribe to them too as well. It means a lot because they are part of. I know Sharky's not part of Newcastle Fans TV, but he's a friend of the channel, so you can follow those two. That'd be fantastic. Thanks very much for watching. Let us know your thoughts on Mike Ashley. See you later. Bye bye.